So apparently we're all gonna monetize our NFTs. This is Tory Watters.
Thank you. Thanks very much. If you are sitting in this audience, there is a very strong chance that you own an ape, a doodle, a world of women, or an NFT from one of the many projects that grants holders some form of commercial rights. So what you really own in that case is a piece of a valuable, decentralized media franchise. As these franchises continue to develop, you'll be sitting on increasingly monetizable intellectual property. But if you're like most holders, this is really just sitting in your wallet collecting digital dust, and you're not really sure what you can do with these rights. I'm Victoria Watters. I am a longtime brand marketer, spent the last 4 years in the crypto industry, and now I'm on a mission to help holders like you monetize their rights. That's why I'm building Snowdrop, which is an NFT licensing marketplace that connects holders with brands who want to license that IP. 6 months ago, as some have touched on today, World of Women announced full IP transfer for holders. And as a holder myself and a marketer, I took it upon myself to figure out how could I turn my World of Women into a product. Within weeks, I was meeting with executives from a top boutique tea company, and shortly thereafter, we created a line of mint tea based on my World of Women. And so I thought this would be a fun, creative project or maybe an e-commerce side hustle, but actually, I was inundated with inquiries from other NFT holders who were looking to do the same with their World of Women, their apes, and many other such projects. Let's take a step back. The licensing industry is huge. Globally, it's projected to reach $385 billion by 2028. That's up from just $276 billion last year. Players like Pokemon and Disney dominate this space, and as you can see, licensed goods can range from $5 trinkets to $500 luxury goods like this Daisy Duck branded fan from Gucci. If you think about the myriad of characters in traditional media franchises, you can start to see the corollary to NFT PFP or profile picture projects. So in the near future, it might be quite easy for you to monetize your Daisy Duck equivalent. And holders are already starting to do this today. Of course, one of the most valuable NFT projects is Bored Apes, and apes are creating physical products, whether via licensing, white labeling, or building entirely new brands based on their apes. Apes are also becoming celebrities in and of themselves, like Bored Becky here on the top left, who licensed her likeness to GM Supply, which is a consumer goods DAO that aims to be kind of the Unilever of Web3, creating 300 decentralized brands. It's not all about apes. Other projects, as mentioned, World of Women, also Gutter Cats, Deadfellas, are figuring out ways to create physical products based on their likeness and start to monetize in this new way. Now, you don't have to be the top blue chip project to have a highly engaged community. And it's these communities who are creating kind of a new marketing flywheel. They're highly incentivized to promote products that are based on the projects because that can increase awareness and adoption of the project themselves. And really, these communities are a marketer's dream, and I'll touch on that later in this talk. But it's a kind of novel flywheel that is really interesting as we think about the monetization of IP. It extends, of course, to entertainment as well. As GQ reported, Bored Apes are taking over Hollywood. They're also penetrating the music industry, as with the duo Escape Plan. And really, mass entertainment might be the first way that these physical products actually start to gain a lot of traction, similar to how Disney started as a media enterprise and then extended into physical experiences and goods. As with any new space, and I'm sure for the lawyers in the room, they're aware, there are lots of risks and obstacles to overcome. As many people have touched on today, of course, Seth Green made mainstream headlines when he had his Bored Ape stolen in a phishing attack, unfortunately after months of hard work creating an entire show centered on this ape. Obviously later repurchased that ape back, but it raised a lot of important questions about IP legality in this space. On the brand risk side, direct-to-consumer underwear company MeUndies recently purchased an ape with the idea of turning it into products. Unfortunately, this turned out to be a PR stunt gone wrong, with the MeUndies community rearing its head and raising lots of questions around NFT environmental impact and why would MeUndies be involved in something so hypey. So it's really important for brands to think about authentic ways to engage in this space, and that's why I think licensing is such a huge opportunity. It provides a way to interact with communities through existing holders. It's authentic, and it's more thought out than just slopping an ape on a product and hoping that you can get some headlines out of it. So with all of these risks in mind, what is in it for brands? Well, if you're Coca-Cola with a multi-billion-dollar marketing budget, you can do something stunty and launch a beverage in the metaverse. But as executives are increasingly talking about what's the Web3 strategy for our company and what are we doing in the metaverse, brand managers are increasingly under pressure to define their strategies, and not everyone has Coke's budget. As you might know if you're familiar with digital advertising, direct-to-consumer companies in particular are under a lot of pressure now as the digital advertising landscape is changing, the old playbook needs to be thrown out of the window, and they're looking for ways to acquire new customers, keep them engaged, and tap into engaged communities. And in my view, this is what brand licensing deals with NFT holders can provide. So, the traditional licensing industry is ripe for disruption. NFT holders are starting to make headway. Yes, there are risks, but brands are interested. So what's next? Well, today, if you are an NFT holder looking to monetize it, you can go, as Bored Becky did, to GMGN Supply and license it to one of their many decentralized brands. Or you can go to a favorite of mine, which is the Maddie's platform. It's an NFT merch platform that essentially pays royalties for every unit of swag sold to the NFT holder. But it's only marketplaces like Midpoint Market and mine, Snowdrop, that are focused on connecting NFT holders directly with established brands. And from my perspective, this is where the big opportunity lies, because it's these established brands, DTC companies, et cetera, who have distribution pipes ready to go. And they're looking just for innovative ways to tap into new audiences. So you don't have to worry about the logistics of standing up your own brand, marketing it, and doing that in a profitable way if you are tapping into what an existing brand is already doing on the distribution front. So, at Snowdrop, we essentially act as a digital licensing agent. Licensing agents help holders understand their rights, help identify licensing opportunities, and help strike licensing deals. But unlike a traditional licensing agent who can take an average of 40% commission on such revenue, Snowdrop is focused on streamlining that process, making it as straightforward as possible at a fraction of the take rate. So, lucky ape holders, doodle holders, World of Women holders, what you have is more than just a piece of an NFT project. You have a piece of a decentralized media franchise that might one day come to challenge the likes of Disney and Pokemon. And it's hard to believe, but the speed and pace of our industry is quite astonishing just in the few years we've all been here. So I don't think it's hard to believe what the incredible monetization opportunities are. And really, in the same way that crypto decentralized finance, I think that NFTs can decentralize brand value. And I see I'm out of time, but I would just like to say you can join our waitlist at snowdrop.xyz, follow along on Twitter, and I would love to connect with any holders or brands who are interested. Thank you.
Thanks, Victoria.